Hey everybody, welcome to another Football DLC session recap. This session recap is going to be split up into two phases. The first phase is going to be a footwork phase working on speed, agility, and quickness. The player is going to do a total of 14 footwork drills, 10 of them being with no ball and 4 of them being with a ball, all on the agility ladder. The second phase is going to be a multifunctional drill split up into 4 components. The first component are 2 explosive forward and backward movements. The second component is going to be 2 hops over the hurdles. The third component is going to be ball mastery through cones. And the fourth and final component is going to be shots on goal. So let's get started. The first phase of this session is footwork. First, we're going to dive into the first 10 footwork movements with no ball on the agility ladder. As always with these footwork movements, we're working on our body low, our knees bent, and maintaining that center of gravity low so that we can maintain better control of our movements and better balance. The first movement is going to be 2 steps moving forward through every ring. The second movement is going to be lateral forward shuffles. The third movement is going to be now 1 foot in each ring with high knees. The fourth movement is now a little different. For this movement, only 1 foot is doing the work in that only 1 foot is going in and out of the rings doing quick toe taps. The non-working foot is also always in constant movement working on that quickness. The fifth movement is going to be lateral moves across the ladder. Anytime we're doing lateral movements, we always want that guiding foot first. So whatever foot is going first, we're going to try to maintain this foot always first to not lose our balance and to not cross over our feet. The sixth movement is another lateral movement, but this time we're doing 2 steps in the rings, 2 steps out of the rings. Again, we're working on that guiding foot always being first to not cross our feet, to not lose balance. The seventh movement is going to be another lateral movement. However, the movement here is a little different. Now we're doing scissors in and out of the rings, moving forward. Again, we're working on that guiding foot always being first in that next ring. This eighth movement is now working on balance. For this movement, it's only 1 foot taking 2 hops in every ring. For these balance movements, every time we land, we want the knees bent, and when we're exploding onto the next ring, we want to go low and get ourselves up to gain the most height, to get that explosiveness out of the air. This ninth movement is another balance movement. But this time, instead of 2 hops, we're only going to work on 1 hop in each ring. For this one, we're drilling down even more on when we land, we're landing with our knees bent and we're exploding up for that maximum height. Again, this previous movement was 2 hops into each ring, and now this movement, same thing, working on balance, but just with 1 foot in each ring. This 10th movement, again working on balance, only with 1 foot, but this time we're going in and out of the ladders in between every ring. So 1 foot in, the same foot out. The same foot in, the same foot out. Again, we're working on only 1 foot throughout the whole ladder, working on that balance, but we're going into the ring, out the ring, in the ring, out the ring, until we finish. The next 4 footwork movements are now going to involve a ball. For this first movement, we put a ball about halfway through the ladder. What the player is doing is he's starting with 1 foot doing the work again in and out. Once we get to the ring that has the ball, this is an indication for the player to quickly shuffle across the ladder and now work on the other foot. So we go from right foot doing all the work, shuffle across to the left foot. The second movement, the player is doing lateral movements across the ladder. Again, we set up a ball about halfway through the ladder, and once the player gets to the ball, he's hopping over it and continuing and finishing up with the lateral movements. Again, with any lateral movements, we're working on that guiding foot always first to avoid any crossing of the feet. Also, for this movement, we're working on quick lateral movements, hopping over the ball, slowing down the tempo, and as soon as we hit the ground, we're speeding up again, working on the lateral movements. For this third movement, now we added a ball every other ring. Basically, for the rings that do have a ball, the player is doing quick toe taps. For the rings that don't have a ball, the player is doing scissor movements with one foot in, one foot out. Again, these lateral movements are an indication of that guiding foot always first. Every time we hit a ball, we're doing quick toe taps. When we don't have a ball, we're doing the quick scissor movements. This fourth and final movement is going to be shuffle across the ladders. Every time we hit a ball, again we're doing quick toe taps but moving laterally. Every ring that has a ball, we're doing lateral toe taps. For the rings that don't have balls, the player's just moving across laterally. So again, we had 10 movements without a ball, and we had 4 movements with a ball. All these are great footwork drills that you can definitely try at home with a speed ladder or setting up several cones. This second phase is a multifunctional drill split up into 4 components. This first component was set up by using 3 cones in a triangle. The player starts at the top of the triangle and he's doing quick explosive forward movements to the first cone. Once he gets to that first cone, he's doing quick explosive backward movements to the starting point, and now he's quickly pivoting to the second cone and back again. For this phase, we're working on that quick explosiveness going forward, hitting the cone, backwards, pivoting, hitting the second cone, and coming back again. The second component is now 2 hops over the hurdles. The player goes over 1 hurdle. Once he lands, we're doing quick explosive backward movements to hop over the second hurdle. For the hops, we're working on the knees bent, working on that explosiveness up in the air. As soon as we land, we're quickly transitioning to a backward movement to then hit the second hop. The third component is ball mastery through the cones. For this, we're working on our skills. We're working on how close can we keep the ball to our foot. We're working on every single step that we take is a touch on the soccer ball. We're always maintaining our body low, our head is up, and we're weaving in and out of the cones using both feet. The fourth and final phase of this multifunctional drill is a shot on target. With our shots, we're focusing on following through for power. We're working on that planting foot being next to the ball for power. We're also trying to make sure that that planting foot is in direction of the target for better accuracy. As a summary, this session was split up into 2 phases. The first phase was a footwork session, as you guys saw, with a total of 14 footwork movements working on speed, agility, balance, and coordination. 10 of these movements were with no ball, while 4 of them we included a ball. The second phase was a great multifunctional drill, again split up into 4 components. And those 4 components being, number 1, 2 quick explosive forward and backward movements. The second components were 2 hops over the hurdles. The third component was ball mastery going through the cones. And the fourth and final component were shots on goal. Thank you guys again for joining us on another Football DLC session recap. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with what we're doing at Football DLC.